Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Crafty Author. My name is Anissa. I am the Crafty Author, and welcome to my quilting room. Today, we are going to continue quilting the Hunter Star quilt on the long arm machine. I am ready to put some tension on these sides here, and we are going to be working with the groovy boards. And so I know that there were some questions about how I work with these groovy boards, and I'm going to show you. I will not be able to answer any questions during this time because I will be quilting the quilt, and the long arm machine is actually pretty noisy, so I won't be able to hear or read any of your comments because I've got you set on the side so that you can see what I am doing over here. So I'm going to go ahead and put some tension onto this here. Now, so far, the thing that I've found to be the hardest with long arm quilting is getting the tension right on the machine and in my bobbin. And so that's what I've had the most trouble with, but I think I've got it finally figured out. I have I purchased a handy quilter tension gauge from my machine, and that seems to be helping a lot with that issue. So I'm just putting a little bit of tension here to pull it nice and taut. And I'm going to go over to the other side and I'm going to do the same thing. And I have some wrinkling here, and it's because of the way that I sewed or basted on one of the sides. So we're going to have to kind of fudge it there. And I'm just going to move my machine over here a little bit. Put that there. And then I will these just pop up. They're just little bungee cords that pop up, but it puts tension on your quilt so that it keeps everything nice and flat, which is what we want. So that. Oops, that one doesn't want to stay there. Come on. There it is. Okay. So that one is good. I'm coming over here, trying to smooth all this out too here. All right, so that's what you do first is you want to set up your tension. Now you can see my groovy board is back here. This is the actual groovy board, and we are working with a shell pattern. So I am going to turn on the machine and I'm just going to start working with that. When I get down to this end here, you'll be able to better see what I'm doing. So I'm going to just leave the camera here. If you have questions, make sure that you ask them and I will get to them within the next 24 hours. Okay. So here we go. I am going to baste the side of my quilt. Now you always want to do this because it keeps it from, it makes it easier to quilt your quilt, and it keeps everything nice and even and straight. I'm going to change my number down to a number 5. That's a really wide stitch because that's all I really want for a basting stitch. I'm going to pull that up. This is how you pull up your bobbin from the bottom here. And then you just bring it back, your needle back over, drop it down. And then I'm going to hold this down a little bit as I just stitch straight. And like I said, once I get to the other side, I'm going to have to do this too, so you'll be able to see what I'm doing. Okay. So I think right here, that up. Now I need to line up on my groovy board. And so what I am going to do here is I'm still going to make sure that all my tension and stuff is good on the underside here. And so far we are doing great. Okay. So I want to line up. And I want to make sure when I line this up that I'm going to trace it first to make sure that it's going to come up and line up with my quilt. And it's not. So that tells me that I don't have this set up right. So I'm going to move my board. So this is part of it when you're doing, when you're working with a long arm, the setup is what you need to, you have to keep an eye on that and make sure you're lining things up correctly. So I just want to show you in real life what this is like. So there is a serious learning curve with a long arm. And now, if you're not using a groovy board, you don't have to worry about lining up exact. You would do that with your okay, so that's just too far away. Well, I'm glad this is happening so we can all see this in real time. So I'm going to have to pull the quilt. I'm going to have to unroll it because I rolled it a little too far up, I think. The groovy boards come with these little circles that you can stick into the groovy boards and it holds them together. I have no strength in my hands, and so I use the whatchamacallit. I use a little hammer for it. So that's how I get through that. So let's take the tension off here. Make sure I'm doing this right. I'm just going to set that right there so I know that that's where I need to be able to put my design. All right. I am going to unlock these. It's all about getting everything just right. I'm telling you that now. It's a learning curve, a big one. So that one goes that way. So we want to I'm going to go check it again. Make sure that I'm lining up. Oh, we might have a winner. Actually thinking that we might need to just a little bit more, not by much, but just a smidge. I also like to straighten out my batting while I'm adjusting and doing things and keep it straight. Okay. Might even just be that much right there. My son is upstairs taking the trash out, in case you're wondering what that noise is up there. That's perfect. Okay, so I've got it perfectly lined up there. All right. We'll start it there. I'm going to put my needle down there so I know that that's where it's going to go. And now I'm going to put some tension on here again. So normally when I'm doing this, I put on some good music that I like and I just get in the zone and I just start rocking out, to be honest. So, okay. All right. Okay. There we go. Straighten everything out. Okay, I think we're good to go. Fingers crossed. All right, so I'm going to change my stitch length back up to 12 now because we want to use a smaller stitch on our quilt than our basting stitch. All I'm doing is sticking my stylus in here and just tracing the shell pattern. And the lighter the touch that you use with this, the better it turns out. Also, I keep my 3/4 down, but you don't have to, but I just find it really helps to keep them in one place so that they have the opportunity to slow down. Really grateful to have this because, oh man, I would not have wanted to focus on my domestic. This is a very large quilt. And I have quilted on my domestic like that, but boy, is it a pain sometimes. All right, so Now we're at the end here. You can probably see just a little bit better here, and I'm going to squeeze in. I am going to, wish I could get this closer for you. Nope, that wasn't it. Shoot. All right, so I'm going to just show you right now. So on this side, now I've come all the way out to here with my design. I'm going to have to trim my border because my border is just, I made some mistakes and I just have to cut it down on the border side. So right here, I'm going to put a line of stitching, which is the, what do we call that? Our basting stitch. So you want to do that on both sides. So I'm going to baste over here. Shoot, I have to take that out. That's right. Got to take the stylus out of the off the board. Like that. But you definitely want to baste it so that it'll keep it nice and straight. So that's what we're doing here. I'm just going to baste it down straight. And you just follow that line right back up where you were. So that's where we were. I'm going to stop that. I'm going to put my needle up because I want to be able to put the, start the next row with my, with my groovy board here. So there, we're in there now and it's all nice and lined up. And I'm going to move this just a little bit. I'm going to see if I can zoom in just a tad so that you can see here what it is that I'm doing here. I don't know if that helped at all, but if it did, let me know. I tried to zoom in so that you can kind of see it. Okay, I'm going to start back and start the next row, and we're going to start going towards the other end now. So I'm just going to turn on my start button. I'm just going to start quilting. I do have my stitch regulator on because it makes my stitches nice and even and they're pretty, and it makes it look like a professional quilt in my quilt. So what I like about the groovy boards is that you get a really nice design. Oh no, you know what I just did? Oh, you won't believe it. I forgot to change my Shoot, I forgot to change my thread length. Doggone it. That means I'm gonna have to rip that out. Oh, I don't want to seam rip that out. You know what? I may just go back over it. I just may do it smaller and just go back over it. Shoot, I can't believe I did that. I was wondering why it was so much quieter. Now I know. Okay, don't do what I just said. Make sure that you take care of your basting stitch. This is real life, people. This is what it is. This is how it is. It happens, you know. So I'm just going to go back over. Use the smaller stitch. The person I'm giving this to is not going to care about that. Probably not even notice it. I'm not really worried about it. If I was doing this for a paying client, I would have ripped that out and just redo it. I don't know what happened. Oh, yes, I do. I hit the wrong button. Okay. So that fixed it. You can't even tell that that's there. So, yay! Oh my goodness, I was really about to cry. I'm gonna move up here. We're gonna start the next row. I'm gonna put my stylus there, needle down. We're gonna start again. And I will trim these threads once I'm done. But for right now, I'm not gonna worry about it. Like I said, slow and steady gets it done. You don't have to use both your hands. You can use one hand. It's really easy to do. So I'm going to answer some questions. So if you have any questions, go ahead and ask me. Okay, Candy. Yeah, it is a lot of work. Actually, when I went over it, it didn't look terrible. So I'm not too worried about that. It looks like it's just normal, honestly. So I'm not worried about that. That turned out okay. So I'm going to go ahead and do this last row. I want to make sure that that's tight. Okay, so we're just going to go back down the row. If you have questions, go ahead and ask. And I will try to come over here and answer. All right. We're almost at the end here for this row, and we'll be able to start rolling the quilt and start another row. Okay. Okay, so how many groovy boards do I have? I have 3 groovy boards that are attached to each other on this. And actually, I had just the 2, and I had to order the 3rd one because this quilt is so wide. And it was a pain to try and do it with just the 2 boards, and then I'd have to just keep moving them all the way down here, and then my design would go off because it wasn't perfectly aligned. And so I got the 3rd one, and I'm really, really glad that I did. As far as other groovy board patterns, that's the shell pattern that I have. This is the Field of Flowers, I want to say. I have 3 of these. So when I found out that I really needed 3, I went and I ordered the extra one, or the extra 2. I have the Baptist fan. This one is, I think that's the same one. Yeah, these are Field of Flowers. I have swirls. So there's the swirls. These are, I think this is the roses one. This one is really pretty. This is the one that I actually was practicing with for a while. And I have some more over here. So, just bear with me. Oops. Yeah, these are those rose ones that I have. It's a swirl. I have feathers. And then I have these big circles, which are really cool. And I think I'm going to do these on the, the t-shirt quilt that I'm making with Minky. And I'll be showing you how I quilt that too. But that is one that I'm going to be using that groovy board for. So, all right. I am going to reposition everything. And we're going to see what happens here. Now I should probably cut my threads. I also like to make sure that I have enough bobbin thread, so that's why I keep pulling this out and checking it. Just trim that. Okay. I don't remember. I always do this. When you go in too tight, and it's hard to. So this is the first quilt that I've ever done on here. So there are mistakes. This is a learning experience for me. I know it's not perfect. Like I said, I'm not worried about these sides over here because those are just going to get cut off anyway. What I'm most concerned with is this portion of it. So, I mean, I know that that's kind of wrinkling on me, but. Learning curves, aren't they fun? We all got to start somewhere. It's actually kind of funny going back to when I first started quilting and the quilts that I made I'm like, oh my goodness. And I know I've all told you the story about how my poor mom, she's my guinea pig. I'd always give her all the quilts. But you know what? She still has them. She has them. And they're still holding up. She uses them. But man. I'm sure I'll look back at this one day and go, oh, I remember how hard this was when I first started doing it. And then no big deal. So, hey, Chris. Thanks for letting me know that. I really appreciate it. All right. So I'm going to stitch down again. I feel like I might need to actually break that stitch out, maybe. Oh, shoot. I always forget to do that thing. I just forget to take the little stylus out of everything there. All right. Oops. Okay. We're going to center this again. Because we're going to start here, the top. It's perfect. It's right where it needs to be. I'm going to come down here and check this because I think I have a little nick right here that this gets caught on, and then it causes the stylus to catch. All right. Now I'm going to put it back up to 12 because if I don't forget. Needle down, and we're going to start. too fast for the regulator. So I also wanted to mention that I am using Isacord 40 weight thread to quilt with, and I purchased 40 weight thread pre-wound bobbins as well for this. So, yeah. And I will show you what those look like, just so you can see what it is that I use in here. Right. So this right here is a tension gauge, a bobbin case tension gauge. If you have a long arm machine, I highly recommend one of these. These things are a lifesaver. Like I said, tension is the hardest thing to find on your long arm. I'm just saying. All right, the next one is, this is what I'm using, Isacord. And this is in the color 970. It's a cream color. It's very pretty. And then I'm using Quiltech MagnaGlide magnetic bobbins in my bobbin. These are size M. They're 40 weight. Comes in a box like that. So, in case you were wondering, that is what I'm using on this. And I think we're ready to head on to the next one. So, I'm just going to keep on going so that we can. Okay, so that's that row. This row. Yep. Okay. I'm going over this really slowly because there's puckering. All right. I mean, so I guess the $1 million question is, do you want a long arm machine? And the answer to that is yes, you do. They're really fun. Hey y'all, Mary, how are you? They are a lot of fun, and they really help you to get the job done a whole lot faster. And I love my long arm machine. Really, really love it. I wish I could play with it even more, but you know. I have a gauge over here. Let's see if I can pull it off. This guy right here is the Handy Quilter. It's a thread gauge. So this actually works to help you with your top tension. So when you put the thread through on here, it tells you what your thread tension is at, and then you can adjust it accordingly, up or down. It's a great tool to have. That's how I was able to get everything nice and lined up on this one, because Lord knows I would not have. I struggled with it for quite a while, and then I finally said, why am I doing this to myself? You know, so. And I do want to mention that those things are extra, so they don't come with your machine, unfortunately, but they are well worth your money, especially if you plan on using, you know, your long arm a lot. It'll just save you a lot of headaches. So. Okay. It's time for us to wind again. I need to figure out where we need to be. So I just need to move that to there. Not good. These wheels also on the side are very, very tight until you use them quite a bit. I actually had to ask about that because mine was so tight, and it was making me very nervous about having a wheel that tight. But the store that I bought my machine from was awesome, and they're always amazing over there. And they answered all my questions and really helped me out. So shout out to them over there. Shout out to Rosemary. She's she has her own YouTube channel. Enchanting Rosemary is what I believe it is. And she teaches you how to do more of the technical side of the sewing machines and things like that. So make sure you head over and check her out. She actually works where I purchased my machine. And Rosemary is actually the one that sold me my Janome machine as well, and my serger machine. So she sold me my Bernette, she has sold me my my Janome, and now my long arm machine. So she's a really nice lady, and I always appreciate her help. Come on. You know, it's almost 6 o'clock here. Oh, it is 6 o'clock here. It's dinner time. No wonder I'm hungry. Just thinking to myself, man, I'm getting kind of hungry here. Okay, oh, that's right. That's it. Now let's make sure that that is placed properly. Okay, Mary, that's a really great question. Because on the back side here, no, you can't see them real well. I'm working with the groovy boards. If you see the stylus here, these are groovy boards, and the stylus fits inside of these groovy boards, and it helps you to make the design. So basically what you're doing is tracing the design onto your quilt. And you have handlebars in the back here with all the same controls that you have on the front. There's a screen here, everything, so that I can actually drive it from back here, and it's putting the design down on the front. If you're not using groovy boards or pantographs, because you can trace a pantograph with the laser that's on there too, which is this little guy right here. You can draw designs with pantographs as well. So that's the need for that. Again, that's a piece of the machine that does not come standard with this machine. Those handlebars you have to order separately. The same with the stylus for the groovy boards and the groovy boards. So unfortunately, that's the way that goes. But anyhow, so that was an excellent question. Yeah, it is. I know. I didn't know either until I was talking to them at the sewing machine store, and they were like, "Oh yeah, wait till you see groovy boards." And I was like, "Oh, what is that?" Yeah. Now I know. But honestly, I love them. They're pretty awesome. So okay. That looks like we're good there. So I gotta pull that up so that I can needle up and needle down. Yeah, I should probably check that too. Check that bobbin. Oh, look at, we're almost out of bobbin. I wonder if we can make it. I don't know. Maybe. Should we try? This is how much of the bobbin is left. Should we give it a whirl? An attachment that does the design for you. They have the robotics that you can buy, and it will do it for you. You set your design and then you press go and it'll do that. Yes, I am playing Bobbin Chicken right now. The closest that you'll probably get to that attachment would be the groovy boards or the pantographs, or spend the money and buy the brain for the machine, and then you have a true long arm that's just can do all of it. So yeah, that's my dream, is to get that, but that's going to be much later down the road, I think, because that brain part is pretty expensive, and I don't think my husband's gonna go for that. Okay, now I can't see because I pulled this out. Come on. There we go. Whew. Finally. I did not want to go in there. Fine. It is hot here today. I don't know about anybody else, but it is 80 degrees here in Colorado. I'm not complaining because I like it, but it was hot. It's very warm today. Yes, one step at a time for sure. But I am so grateful for all the stuff that I do have because it is so much fun to play with it. And I tell you, I have more fun down here. Just kind of messing around. Up here. It's probably going to be enough, but I don't know. What are you doing? What are you doing? Okay. Nope. We're not doing this. I almost forgot to change my thread length again. We're not doing that. I would have totally cried. Okay, and my machine sounds like that because my machine is on a hard surface in here. It's not like on a carpeted area where it can absorb some of that vibration and sound. So some of that sound that you're hearing, that's why. Shoot, knew it. Come on, needs to get it together. All right. It's a the quilting compound. It's a groovy board. I'm going to actually move the camera around a little bit so that you guys can see what it looks like from the front side. So if you get dizzy, just close your eyes for a sec, because I really want you to be able to see what this looks like from this angle as well. Of course, you can't see anything. Can't see it because it's light. All right. So I'm going to show you, and then you'll see, hopefully you can see how the design goes down onto the actual quilt. See the shells that are going onto the. And I'm basically just tracing them from behind here with my stylus. I haven't tried pantographs yet. I've only done free motion and the groovy boards. I am a big fan of free motion quilting, guys. I also have the rulers for this machine and the ruler table, but I haven't messed with those yet. I know you probably can't see me, but I'm coming back down that way, so just hang on a sec. Okay. So that part is done. So I wanted you to be able to see that. I hope you were able to. Yes, Mary, there is. There is another screen on the back. It looks like this. See that screen right there? There's an identical one on the back side too with those handlebars. And that is how you're able to control your stitches and things like that. So these handlebars, so this is the one is for your needle up, needle down. This one controls your, let me try this again. Controls your speed for going down, and this controls your speed for going up. And then this is your start stop button. And then over here you can do manual, or you can do regulate, which you can see I have on regulate. And then your speed. you know, all that good stuff. So yeah, it's the same on the back side as well. So we are getting very close here to being done. And nobody is going to be more excited about that than me. Because I have lots and lots and lots of projects to do. So, yay, I'm excited. So let's trim our threads here. And go. All right. Doggone it, I keep forgetting to put those back on. That's not good. Oh, that's right. I need to figure out where my stuff needs to go here. Okay. So I'm just advancing the quilt at this point. All right, so I think I might just pull this back a little bit and then you could see the whole quilt. I think so. Mary, I think we're doing pretty good here. All right, so I am going to put some tension back onto the quilt here. First, I want to make sure I'm in the right spot because I always seem to not be. Or good enough. Good enough is good enough. All right. Pull that off. Tension this again. So if you're working on like a baby quilt, this would be like super, super easy and really fun to do. These bigger quilts are a little more time consuming. They're a little tougher to set up. I learned a lot when I was learning how to load the quilt onto the frame. That's a whole nother tutorial. Okay. Okay. We're almost there. Can see the light at the end of the tunnel. All right, so let's change this back down to 5 because we're going to do the basting stitch on our quilt here on the side. Why are you making that silly sound? Doggone it, I forgot to do it on this side. I forgot to baste it over here. Oh well. Too late now. Things that you have to remember when you're doing this basting. There's so many things to keep in mind. My main focus right now is just trying to get the quilt quilted, making sure that the design is even on it. So like I forgot to baste over here on that last one that we just did, that last row, but I'm just going to let it go for right now because I just want to make sure that, you know, this is good and lined up. Like I said, this is the first one I've done on the long arm. I've only done practice like on a plain cloth, and I just mostly did free motion on those. So this one is a little bit different for me. Trying not to forget to move my stitches back up again. It always likes to scream at me because I go too fast for it. So I'm going to baste before I forget. right. So I don't know what's going on here, but this is making a funny sound. I wonder if I need to oil it. I'll have to do that afterwards. So again, another thing with these long arm machines is you have to maintenance them. After every project that you do or after every bobbin change, you should put oil in your bobbin case area, just a little dab, and then, you know, put your bobbin in there. And oh, thank you, Mary. Yeah, I do. I love that net. That net is awesome. And it holds, so underneath that, beyond that, I have batting roll. So this actually came with a batting bar. I don't know if you can see the batting bar. There's the batting on the bar there, which is nice because then you can just, you know, store your batting there. And then when you need it, you just bring it up and cut it. But yeah, so these machines need to be maintained and they need to be done pretty regularly. So mine probably needs to be, it needs some TLC after this. So I will give it to her. But we got to finish this. Hopefully she'll keep going. Well, okay. So we're almost at the end. Almost at the end. I'm doing my little dance. Anyway, I don't know what I was going to say. I have no idea what I was even going to say. there you have it. I am going to roll the quilt because we are just about done. Hi, Jax. Hi, buddy. Hi, Chris.
Hello. You done?
No, getting it.
I'm sorry.
All right. Oh, right, you've got to paste.
I did dog poop.
Thank you. I'm alive. Thanks.
Yeah, I saw it. I
Go
saw you were
upstairs.
live.
I know. I heard that. Can you go upstairs, please? Thank you.
Mhm.
Oh, no. Guess what? I don't think we need it with all the bobbin. And I need to take care of my thread because that isn't looking good either. Okay. Already checked. This is so much fun to thread when you can't see very well. There we go. My apologies if I'm in your way here. We're not gonna do anything if we're not ready. Right. We're gonna check the bobbin. Well, it appears like there's still some in here. This is where we're at with the bobbin. So I'm going to change the bobbin because I don't even want to jam it and have it run out. That just would not be fun for me. Jax, what is your deal, buddy? What's the matter? Dropping stuff. Okay. Good job, bud. Good job, buddy. You're okay, Jaxie. You're okay. All right. We are back. Sorry about that. But, you know, again, real life. So it happens. Okay. Got it. What in the world? I don't know what's going on here. Uh-oh, why are you doing this to me? What's going on here? It's fine. I do not know what's happening here, so just bear with me for just a second. Okay. There's something on the bobbin. You know it's only doing this because I'm live, right? If I was down here doing this on my own, none of this would be happening. Mary, so I'm going to say 2 or maybe 1.5 because that one that I used right there was a brand new bobbin. And then I know it's not going to use this whole bobbin, so probably about 1.5. Oh, the tension is too tight. Oh, how fun. I just love adjusting the tension on things. So you need to adjust the tension every time you change one of these because the tension is not always going to be the same. Even if it comes from like the same box. This is too loose of a tension. I'm going to show you what I'm talking about. So the tension on this is way too loose. You see how it's not even dropping. So I need to tighten this little tiny screw that's right there. Let's see what I really use this with. I'll be back. Just give me just a sec. Tiny little one. I know I have one here. How would I do it? It's a little better. When you're turning these bobbins, you want to do them like at a quarter. So I'll show you now. You saw before I couldn't even really drop that in my hand. Now I can. So I think this is actually going to be okay. But we're going to try it. And if not, guess what? We'll have to adjust it again. You know, it figures that it would do this right when we're right at the end of it. Now, good Lord, get over here. Let's try this again. Please work. Please work this time. Okay, it worked. It worked. Yay, it worked. That was driving me completely crazy. Hi, Delia. Yes, Murphy's Law, Mary, every time. All right. Let's get this show on the road and get this all finished up. All right, so now I gotta base this side. We can keep it kind of flat. It's screaming at me for going too fast. Whenever I get going faster than the regulator, it beeps at me. Okay. So now we're just about done. Like literally, really done. I know I keep saying that, but we really are. I don't, Delia. I wish I did, but I don't. No pro stitcher yet. Candy, I am still at it. Can you believe that? It's almost taken me 2 hours to quilt that. So, but let me tell you, it's much faster than doing it on a domestic. Because I have done that, and that takes me days to do. So. All right, so we're gonna advance the quilt again, and I think this is the last time that we have to do it. So, where I want to advance it to. Okay, so that's perfect. So, right there. Okay. Well, that's first. Okay. So now you see what it looks like once you get to the very, very end here. And I do pin these onto my leader. And then I use these to help keep it, to keep my quilt, when I have my quilt top on here, to keep that nice and taut so that it doesn't like go everywhere. So those are done. I don't need those anymore. And just make sure that we're in the position where not, we need to roll this up just a little more. Probably to there, is my guess. Okay. There we go. So when you're actually quilting on a long arm, they give you these leaders and you pin your quilt top, you pin your backing, you pin on each one of these bars. So getting it set up is a little bit of work too. Sorry, I know I keep going back and forth. But it's well worth the time. So you want to take the time to set it up correctly to begin with. I'm not sure how many rows we're going to get on here with with the leader there, because we don't want to sew the leader. That would not be good. Okay. I'm actually glad that you're still here watching this with me. I really do appreciate it. And because I think it's important to show you what this is really like. You know, I mean, they are fun. It is a lot of work. I mean, quilting is a lot of work. It just is. So it just depends on what you know what you want to do. Okay, so I am going to pull down, pull up. No. No, we're not doing that 12. We're doing this in 5. Okay. Now I'm going to go straight across and I'm going to go up over there. Stop because I want to make sure I'm not stitching. I don't want to. I think my husband just got one. My dog is freaking out. It's Wednesday, so he plays golf. So I've got the whole thing basted now. And this is 12. I wonder if I can go one more. I'm going to test this out and see real quick because I don't want to. Just barely. Okay, well, I think we're going to give it a whirly boo. We're going to try this. Woohoo! Woohoo! We're done. We're done. All right. So, trust me, I'm so happy this quilt is done. So now what I would do is I will have to pull these pins off of here, off of the whole quilt, and then I need to clean the quilt up on the back side. All the threads, I need to tuck the threads, bury them, all that good stuff. But the quilt is actually done and it is quilted, and so I will have to show you what this looks like once I get it all cleaned up and stuff. And then I will be ready to put the binding on, and that will be fun, fun, fun. Yeah, it does. Okay, let me go through here and answer some of your questions. I've had my long arm since about the beginning of January, so not very long at all. I'm still learning. Candy, this batting here was used only for this quilt, but now that I'm done with that batting, I will cut it off and I will use it in some other projects that I'm working on. Yes, Delia, I do have handlebars on both sides of my machine. Delia, you can always give me your Amara with the Pro Stitcher. No, I'm just kidding. Candy, yes, it does take a lot of patience. Tammy, I have the Handy Quilter Simply 16. So I'm glad that this is helpful because it's helpful for me to do this as well. I mean, we're all newbies and beginners, and I want you guys to go along on this journey with me as I learn how to do this because, this is all new to me as well. I've never used a long arm before until I got this long arm in January, and all I've done with it really is practice. This was the first quilt that I wanted to quilt on this machine, and so I've been able to do it, and I'm super happy that I can. And I can't wait to see what it looks like once it's all, off. And then I can show you all the stuff in there. Oh, I bet it is. Oh my gosh, I cannot wait to roll that off and get it all unpinned and everything else and trim it up. And oh, I'm so square it up. I'm really excited to be done. So this quilt has been a labor of love for me. I've had to hide this quilt because my niece got married, and this is a wedding quilt for my niece and her husband in their wedding colors. And she got married not this past Sunday, but the Sunday before. And so now she's on her honeymoon, so everything is good. And she doesn't know that this is for her. So I've had to hide it from her when she's been over here. So now I can finally gift it to her. I'm excited about that. So thank you, Candy. It is a little hard. It is in the beginning. Once you get the hang of it though, I think it gets a little easier. So like using the groovy boards at first, I didn't know how to line them up. But as I was using them and going along, I started figuring out where I needed to put my put my foot down so that I could quilt it right where it needed to be. So lining that up is getting to be a little bit easier now that I've done it a few times. Loading the quilt is a whole different animal. I'll do a tutorial on that one day on how to do that. There's several different ways that you can roll a quilt onto a long arm. This is this is the way I like to do it, though. For me, it's easiest for me to do it this way. And yes, I do have my bars over here. I have them labeled so I know which one is my top bar, which one's my bottom bar, because again, still learning. So there are things that you can do to help yourself kind of go along and jog your memory a little bit. A groovy board is kind of like a pantograph, except for a stylus actually fits inside the groovy board. And when you're tracing around the groovy board, it actually will, let me see if I can get the camera over here to show you the groovy board. So, sorry, I know that's really kind of a pain in the rear when I move you guys around, but I want you to be able to see it. So the stylus on the back of the machine fits in this little groove here, and then you just move your handlebars and trace it. And that's how you get that design onto your quilt. The pantograph is just the paper where you're tracing it with your laser. So I have both the laser and the stylus. This is the stylus right here. You lift it up and you're able to move your machine, but when you drop it down into this little groove, it locks into place, and then you can trace it along here on this groovy board. All right. Well, I want to thank you guys for joining me tonight and for hanging out with me here. It has been fun, and I have really, really enjoyed being able to show you how I do this. And I do appreciate your patience, because I know that it's probably not like the most fun thing in the world to watch me do, but you know, it's a learning experience. Everything's a learning experience. So I hope you enjoyed that. All right. I'm glad, Mary. I'm glad it completes it for you. You're welcome. You all have a wonderful night too. Thanks for joining me. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your week. Okay, bye-bye.